finally I was able to get both these figures. The wait is finally over. I really wish that Hasbro would have released these figures a lot sooner, at least close to the release of this movie. But of course, this movie was delayed a couple months. And in this review video, we're not going to focus on both figures. We're going to focus mostly on Deadpool only. So this video, we're going to focus basically on that. But let's go ahead and look at the packaging real quick. As you guys can see, it is a new style of the Marvel Legends box, which they've done this before for their movie figures. But hopefully they keep this style for moving forward for the other line. As you guys can see, you got Logan right here, or Wolverine. Hugh Jackman finally portraying this suit. Of course, you have Deadpool. Would have been nice to have a head sculpt, but of course that's hasn't happened yet. On the side of both boxes, you guys have the picture of the character with a thumbtack, which is pretty decent, I guess. On the back, you guys have the same image, just portraying the character that's associated with the box. And then on the side right here, you guys can see it has the character's name, which it does say Wolverine, and the other side says Deadpool. But let's go ahead and focus on Deadpool first. We're gonna go ahead and move Wolverine on the side and do that review sometime soon. And here we have Deadpool and Wolverine Deadpool figure, Marvel Legends, for $24.99. It's not the best version of Deadpool in my opinion as far as accessory wise, because I know the other version that came like probably like 2-3 months ago came with a lot more hands, accessories, and all that, but not sure exactly why this didn't come with the same amount of accessories. But for $24.99, both of them costing the same and coming with a lot less, it is kind of disappointing in my opinion. So let's go ahead and take a look of this new version of Deadpool from the Deadpool Wolverine movie. So here we got the box. We're gonna go ahead and open it from the bottom. So here we got the tab, which we're just gonna go ahead and pull that. As you guys can see that the background is the same as the Wolverine figure. So here we do have a tray shot of Deadpool. We're gonna go ahead and look at the accessories first before we get into the figure. So here we do have our interchangeable hands, which it is weapon wielding hands. Not really too bad, but a major flaw that I quickly noticed that it does have a little bit of the plastic still, you know, sticking out right there from the mold. I'm sure I could cut that out, which it did just fall off. But you would think that the quality control would be slightly better, but overall the sculpt of the hands are actually pretty good. You guys can see that the paint application is pretty decent as well. And we do have his katanas right here, which is a nice brush pewter silver. The handles look really good as well, which you guys can see that there is no paint. It's all black. Would have been nice if it had a little bit of gold on the handles, but not too big of a deal. We also have his baby knife, which it is a nice addition considering it was showcased in the movie as well. Let's go ahead and get into the Deadpool figure. So here we have Deadpool, really nice figure in my opinion, and he does come with additional accessories that I would bring up first, which he does have both his weapons right here, which you can take them out, which is pretty nice to have them. But he comes stocked with these open palmed hands, or just somewhat open palmed, basically for his katanas to go in there. And then here the other hand sculpts are for his weapons, so you know, pretty decent I guess to have. So let's go ahead and look at the accuracy of this figure. This figure definitely portrays Deadpool fairly well. You guys can see the accents of gold that they added from the new MCU version of Deadpool. And on the back, it kind of sucks that this thing's a little wonky. Pretty sure it'll be easy to heat this up and get it back to where it's supposed to be, but just noting that out the box, it is kind of weird or deformed. Hopefully the katana was able to go inside pretty decently, but I'm assuming so. Here on his leg, you do have a slot for his baby knife, and obviously the back for his swords or his katanas. Do have these blasters here on the side. You guys can see the detail on his belt sculpt is pretty good. You guys can see that added gold as well on the belt. You guys see the accents of gold is all around the figure. It is textured as well, textured plastic. Doesn't come around really often. Really good. I think the head sculpt is the same from previous Deadpools, or at least the most recent one. Not entirely sure. We'll look at the articulation in a little bit, but you guys can see that the paint application on the eyes is fairly decent, not too bad. Honestly, you guys can see a little bit of the black behind the white eyes, at least in person you can. Overall, no complaints as far as accuracy and paint application. Overall, fairly decent. When it comes to accessories, I think this is a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely need all these accessories to come with Deadpool, but he doesn't always come with all his added weapons. So looking at articulation, the most important thing is the joints. So you do have double jointed knees, which is good, as well as double jointed elbows, which is a must. Now he does have butterfly joints, and I think these butterfly joints is a lot better than the version of Wolverine, which I think those butterfly joints would be better suited for Wolverine than Deadpool, in my opinion. Now when it comes to the ankle right here, you guys do see that it is on a hinge. He does have thigh swivel, you guys can see. Now it would have been nice if it was a slightly lowered down, but right here I guess it's hidden through the straps that he has on his legs. Overall, it's really not too bad, and he can somewhat rotate, but I'm not gonna force it because it feels like it doesn't want to, but it rotates slightly. When it comes to ab crunch, he can go fairly down, not too bad. Pulling back, he can pull back pretty good. And when it comes to the head sculpt, I think he could rotate 360 degrees, somewhat a little rough, but definitely can do it. He can look up pretty decent, actually. Definitely a lot better than Wolverine. When it comes to looking down, not really the best at doing that, in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and add these accessories to Deadpool so we can have a better look of what it looks like on the figure. Sliding in the baby knife is pretty easy. Smooth transition right there with the hands, with the weapons. Definitely pretty smooth and easy. He holds them pretty well. You guys can see that these are specifically sculpted for this weapon. Definitely pretty good to have that, and it doesn't feel like it would fall down. Definitely like to do this to see if it would, and overall it does not. So definitely pretty firm hand grip right there for the weapons. So we're gonna go ahead and change these hands and so adding the weapons is a little bit difficult. Not sure exactly why these hands didn't work all that well, but these weapons also feel pretty cheap. As you guys can see, I'm barely even moving them. They feel really rubber. It would have been nice if they were hard plastic, but sadly they're not, which does suck considering you're paying $24.99 for a figure, even though it's not considered a premium figure. But you know, I guess you get what you pay for with Marvel Legends, but these are pretty flimsy. Don't really like that, in all honesty. And putting on the hands, or putting the weapons on the hands, did take some time. Not as smooth as other figures, but honestly, overall, it's still not a bad figure when it comes to accessories. And having added hands is definitely a must for a figure like this. Be nice if at some point we do get a head sculpt of Deadpool, but overall, really can't complain, in my opinion. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think of the Deadpool and Wolverine Deadpool figure? I'll do a comparison of Deadpool to other versions of Deadpool, which I only have one, and I'll definitely have both of these together, Wolverine and Deadpool together, in a display case. But comment down below, what is your favorite part of this figure? Another great plus of this figure that it is also pinless, just as the Wolverine figure. You guys can see that the knee right there is pinless, as well as the elbows. And if you guys don't know what pinless means, Marvel Legends, all McFarlane figures have pins on their figures unless they, you know, just decide to design them pinless. You guys can see that there are pins here in the knee and the elbows, and that's basically what it means to be pinless. Really not a bad feature for a figure like this, in my opinion. So we're gonna go ahead and look at the dislikes of this figure. So first thing first, this thing being bent, I'm sure keeping the sword in there after a long period of time would definitely warp this as well. So I'm definitely going to try to fix this first before doing anything else or keeping it in there for a long term. Secondly, the hand did have a little piece of plastic from his mold. Not a big deal, but definitely something I wouldn't prefer to try to remove on myself. Overall, I don't really have much cons of this figure. Definitely like the articulation, which I would probably rate this a solid 8.5 out of 10. When it comes to accessories, I'll 8.5 out of 10 as well. The overall figure, if I had to rate this figure in its entirety, I definitely think this figure is a solid 8.5 out of 10. I definitely think it's a figure you should pick up. It's a must pick up, in my opinion, especially if you like this version of Deadpool from the movie. It would have been nice if this came out a little bit sooner, or at least was released roughly around the same time frame as the movie, but getting it a couple months after really isn't all that bad, especially there are different companies that are making their version of Deadpool. But you guys comment down below, what is your dislikes and like as a figure. Remember, this figure is $24.99 on Amazon as well as Hasbro Pulse. Not sure if you can still pick this up for retail, but I still would not pay more than retail, because I'm sure this eventually should be mass produced considering how popular the movie was. But anyways, let me know what your thoughts is in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.